Snippet 1. I decided today to go ahead and harvest my small potato patch that's located up near my house. It's in my front yard. The reason being, I have some corn I want to plant, and the corn that I'm going to plant only gets about 3 or 4 feet tall, so it won't be overbearing to put in my front yard, and I want to put it here. Look at this dirt. Just look at it. This is a combination of just good dirt from my house, some black dirt that's naturally in my soil. I have great dirt up here, and wood chips and stuff that were mixed in the beginning. There's even some pine straw right there that's in it, and it makes it so good. And I want to use this good dirt to get my corn growing good, and I have a little extra dirt here that'll help me healing up my corn. So I'm going to take, I think pretty much, I'm going to overplant it. I'm going to overplant it, and I'm going to plant it close. I want a little 6x6 area here. That's what this is. And I want it to hopefully produce me a good bit of corn. I'll tell you about the brand in just a second, but let me show you my potatoes I got out of here. And you know, the other day I harvested 2 potatoes out of here. And then today I got these. And some of them are good size. Those right there are good size. I'm happy with this. This is actually probably a few more potatoes than I started with to begin with, just out of this one little patch. I had taken my potatoes that I bought, my seed potatoes, and I chitted them and cut them either into halves or thirds, depending on how many eyes they had and how big they were. And I used that first 5 pounds to plant both this area and the area over by the fence, by the horse pasture. And so what I've got back in this one little pail today is as much as I had to plant to begin with. So to me, that's pretty much paid for themselves already. And then I haven't touched that over there except for 2 little potatoes that I pulled out the other day to show you. Well, I think it was 3 little potatoes. I'm sorry. 3 little potatoes. So I'm going to weigh these inside and see how much I got out of here. And I'm curious to see if I got the 5 pounds back that I started with before I got going on potatoes. And if so, that'll mean I've got my 5 pounds back, and everything in that other bed over there is just gravy. So that'll be my gravy patch over there. The corn I'm going to plant in this spot is called blue jade corn. Look how beautiful that is. I just read the package and it says it gets 3 foot tall. I was thinking 3 to 4 foot, but it says 3 foot. But now I don't think these cobs are huge or anything. However, it says that it puts off 3 to 6 ears per stalk. That's phenomenal. So even if there's shorter ears, that's fine. If I'm getting 3 to 6 ears per stalk, this little patch here, this little 6x6 patch, could put me off a good bit of corn. This picture here shows it very blue, but actually I think it's at its sweetest when it's still got a lot of white in it and it's just turning blue. But it said you can pick it even all the way until it's this steel blue color. I'll probably start picking it as early as I can. I'll taste it and see, because you can get worms and stuff in your corn if you try to let it sit there and just get to the perfect ripeness. Sometimes those worms, they know when it's perfectly ripe too, and they go after it. Snippet number 2 is my Scarlet Emperor runner beans. They're already starting to put off flowers. You see the red flowers blooming there? I'm so excited. Now these are just really getting going. They've got a lot more growing to do. But you can see that they're reaching back there and they're grabbing onto my string. I guide some of them on there, but then they just figure it out. So I really don't have to do a lot. But look at these beautiful flowers. They're just going to be all over them. Some of them are already blooming out, but a lot of them just have the little buds everywhere. So they're really going to get going. This vine here, you see it took off its own, that string. So if you can find you some seeds for Scarlet Emperor runner beans, I highly recommend them. I think I'm going to wait and just harvest them dry at the end, instead of worrying about harvesting any like in a snap stage. I'm just going to harvest those beautiful big purple and black looking beans at the end. I think that's what I'm going to do. Snippet number 3 is I am actually growing North Georgia candy roasters. I'm so excited. This plant has really gotten long. Look at that. And I have 5 of these plants growing. 2 of them have been here since before the freeze, and 3 more I just planted. And I've got a couple of candy roasters coming on right now. But this one is the largest, and it looks happy, and the whole plant looks happy. And I'm just hoping that I can grow these to fruition. I would love to have some winter squash sitting on my little shelf in the dining room and being able to just walk over there and grab one during the fall or winter and cook something with it. Snippet number 4, not too exciting to look at, but exciting for me. I've got 1, 2, those melon de Castillas that I showed you the other day that I was planting from Native Seed Search. They're coming up already. And if you walk over here to my other bed, at the edges down here, those 3 right there are the Esperanza d'Oro melons that are coming up. I planted there the other day. I also have 2 at that other end down there that are coming up. So both of those melons that I planted the other day are growing. We'll see how they do, but I'm excited that they came up so quick and they seem happy. Snippet number 5, I have a pumpkin growing. This is a sugar pie pumpkin. These plants have tons of blooms on them, tons of blooms, but only one so far has fertilized and set a pumpkin. So I'm gonna try to take care of it. We're getting plenty of rain, so there's really nothing I can do for it right now. But I'm hoping I will end up with my first sugar pie pumpkin. Snippet number 6 are my lima beans. Both kinds that I'm growing, the lynch and the colored willow leaf, have both decided to take off, and they've started climbing up the string. And I'm hoping to have a little set of lima beans. This isn't a lot of row feed of it, but I just wanted to grow what I could this year. Probably going to end up just saving seeds on them, but who knows? We'll just see how they do. Snippet number 7 is my tomatillas. Now, I thought these were like tomato filling things. When I felt them the other day, though, it feels like they're little paper balloons. I guess that's how they grow. They grow the husk first, and then they fill out the husk. Is that how it works with tomatillos? They're all on this one, too. They're everywhere. So much better than last year when I only had 1 plant, and I didn't know that they would only grow if you had 2 plants or more. So if you know a lot about tomatillas and you know that it's okay to have these little paper balloons, let me know how they grow. This is my first time doing them, and I'd sure appreciate your advice. Little snippet number 8 is these are my Dallas Edwards pole beans that I just planted the other day in that little area I created between my Jubilee tomatoes and my azalea bush kind of row there. They are coming up. They haven't set runners yet really, but they're growing very fast and getting very tall very fast. So I have no doubt they're gonna set some runners here shortly. And turning over here to this little side one that I did between my azalea branch and the front row there, these are the Spanish musica beans. I planted them a couple of days later than the Dallas Edwards, and they're actually already setting runners. You can see the runners there, and they'll be grabbing onto these poles here shortly, these azalea branches. So Spanish musica beans, those came from Renee's Garden Seeds. They've been sitting in my drawer for about 2 years and just came out of the gate running with germination and with vigor. So I highly recommend those. The Dallas Edwards pole beans I got from Seed Savers Exchange. Snippet number 9 are my shishito pepper plants. I would have more to show you, but I harvested off of them a little while ago. But they're putting off peppers every day and setting more little ones every day. I started a little Ziploc in my freezer, and I'm going to try to get to where I have a whole lot of them and kind of blister them in the skillet like people have been talking about, with a little olive oil and some kosher salt and stuff, and see how they taste with a little dipping sauce. We'll have to see. Snippet number 10 are my cherry tomato plants. I've showed them to you before, but I had to go through here the other day and really stake them up because they are sprawling. These are the Matt's Wild Cherry ones. I got these seeds a long time ago from Johnny Seeds. I never planted them. And then I had one of the other channels that I love to listen to, Homestead on a Prayer. She was talking about how this is one of their favorite tomatoes. So I planted them this year. I did them in the seed trays and grew them out and planted them. I'm tell you what, I haven't tasted them yet because they haven't had any red ones, but they are putting off some tomatoes. They're putting off tomatoes. They're everywhere. They're everywhere on all of these plants. Look at all these bundles here. Look at there. And down here, my Mexico midget cherry tomatoes are also doing well. And this morning, I went in here and found a red one. It's already putting off a red one. Look at all those tomatoes. I'd show it to you, but I ate it. I just chomped it down. I said, you know what? The first one is mine after all this work. They always tend to put the red ones off way in the back. See how they have tomatoes way up in the back of these trees? They always seem to start turning red way in the back first. I had to stake these up too because of wind and because of sprawl. But that's typical for them. Last year they got huge and I had to just put all kind of hortanova netting around them, and you kind of have to keep them in check because you don't want them just laying on the ground. Their leaves will get all that wilt blight and all that stuff. So anyway, but they're doing good. I'm so excited. Snippet number 11. A lot of these little seedlings look the same coming up. That could be anything, a cucumber, a melon, or whatever. But what it is a tromboncino squash. I planted them here amongst my azalea row of pole beans. And kind of once the pole beans peter out, I'm hoping the tromboncino squash can just use these branches to climb on. So I planted them here and there and yonder amongst those. And they're all coming up all the way around where I planted them. So that's something to look forward to. And it's kind of like succession planting, just using a different vegetable than the vegetable you already have. All of my cucumber plants are starting to really take off. And I noticed a while ago, I have little cucumbers on there. I have little cucumbers. These just happen to be the white wonders that I planted, but my plants are doing good with a variety of them, especially the garden burpless that are in my corn patch. And then the general leaves are really taking off. They're over by my house, in the front of my house. But I also have Sumter and double yield growing as well. So we'll have to see how all these come out. I'm trying to get what I can done between bands of thunderstorms we've been having the last few days. It's been really raining, but I'm telling you what, my plants are loving it. It's still staying hot and humid in between these rains, which is making for a lot of lightning, but that's okay. The plants seem to love it. They're doing good. The corn's coming up. Even my Mosby prolific there in the back, you can see where I replanted, and a lot of that's coming up and doing fine. It'll catch up to the other corn at some point, I'm sure. All those potatoes in the back need to be harvested here shortly. They're dying faster than I can shake a stick. Every day when I come out, more and more of them have fell over and have turned yellow. So we'll have to see how many pounds I end up with total altogether. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place. Hope y'all are growing good at your house. I hope your weather's moderating and you're able to get out and do some planting. Y'all have a good day, and thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good news. I harvested 8.29 pounds of potatoes out of that little 6x6 bed today. This says 8.4, but the bowl, it weighs a little bit, the little Tupperware bowl. So to deduct that, it's 8.29 pounds. I'm extremely happy with that. That's great coming out of that little bed. More than got my seed potatoes back as far as number. And I'm going to cook with them. My husband was very excited, and I'm very happy to have these. Can't wait to see how many I get out of the big bed.